This video is about structure and functions of muscle tissues and connective tissues. Muscle tissues. The function is to contract and relax, which allow it to change in the length. So the main function is to enable the body or the part of it to move. So muscle tissue usually consists of the fibres. So we can classify muscle tissues into three types, but based on their location and the structure. First one is smooth tissue, second is skeletal or striated muscle, third is cardiac tissue. So first is the skeletal muscle, second is the smooth muscle, while third is cardiac muscle. Okay, so this is the cross-section of skeletal muscle under microscope. So skeletal muscle, also known as striated muscle, as they have the striation. Striation means they have alternate light and dark band in the muscle fiber which appear under the microscope. So skeletal muscle fiber are long and cylindrical shape, which are arranged parallel to one another. Each muscle fiber is multinucleated, means they have many nucleus within the fiber, and the nucleus is at the periphery, means at the side, and just located beneath the cell surface membrane called the sarcolemma. So sarcolemma is the membrane of the muscle. So this is the muscle fiber which has the striation, dark band and the light band. So cytoplasm is called sarcoplasm, and they consist of many mitochondria because they need a lot of energy in form of ATP. Okay, so the sarcoplasm contains hundreds or even thousands of myofibrils arranged parallel to one another. Just like the diagram we have seen just now, they arrange parallel. Okay, so each of the fiber here is known as the myofibril. They arrange parallel to one another. And the myofibril is made of two types of filaments, which is myosin and also actin, which is the thick filament and the thin filament. So where we can find the skeletal muscle, it is attached to the bone or the skeleton. That's why it is known as skeletal muscle. So function is for voluntary movement of the body. Okay, so we can see the striation in between the skeletal muscle. Second kind of muscle, smooth muscle. So under the microscope, we are unable to see any striations in this muscle. So that's why it is known as smooth. So each muscle fiber consists of single and elongated spindle-shaped cell that contain one centrally located nucleus. So the shape is spindle shape, which pointed end. Okay. So the muscle do not contain cross striations. So they are not arranged in the same pattern like the skeletal or cardiac muscle. So where we can find the smooth muscle, it can be found on the lining of walls of arteries and veins, digestive tract, urinary bladder and also uterus. It is responsible for involuntary movement of the body, which means we cannot control this muscle voluntarily. Okay, smooth muscle, which is the pointed end. Okay, spindle shape, pointed end, and the nucleus is centrally located. Cardiac muscle, this is under the microscope view. So we can see some special structure which can only be found in the cardiac muscle, which is called interconnected discs. So they have 1 to 2 nucleus per fiber with many mitochondria. So this muscle connected to one another by interconnected discs. So it is same like the skeletal muscle just now, it has striation, but this muscle, they have branch. Not like the skeletal muscle just now, they are parallel form. This one has branch and form the bridge with one another to form a net like arrangement. Okay, so these are the bridge which form a network, and distribution they can found on the wall of the heart. So function is involuntarily movement of the heart to form a continuous and rhythmic contraction and allow the heart to pump blood around the body. So function of interconnected discs is to relay or transmit the signal from one muscle cell to another muscle cell during the heartbeat and prevent the adjacent cell from separating during the contraction. Because the heart is the heaviest duty organ of our body, it will pump every single minute. So they need to prevent the cell from separating during the contraction. So the three types of muscle we can compare based on different features, such as the striation, such as whether they have branch or no branch, such as the number of nucleus, okay, and the location of the nucleus, the shape, and so on. Okay, so next we are going to discuss about connective tissue. So connective tissue is the cell, okay, which connect the whole system, binding all other tissues together. So general function is to protect and support the body and internal organ, reduce friction between bones. It depends on the types of connective tissues. So we have three types of connective tissues here. First is compact bone, second is hyaline cartilage, third is blood. So first, compact bone. So basically we have two types of the bone tissue. First is the compact bone, second is the spongy bone. Okay, so we are looking at the compact bone here. So compact bone, they consist 70% of inorganic substance such as calcium, magnesium, calcium carbonate, and so on. So for this inorganic substance, the function is to give the bone its hardness, because this is the mineral substance. So it gives the bone the hardness features. Another 30% it is made by collagen. Collagen will give the bone its strength. Okay. So the bone cell, we call it osteoblast. When it matures, we call it osteocyte. So function of the bone cell is to secrete and maintain the matrix of the collagen. So the calcium, magnesium, and phosphate ion, those minerals, they combine and harden within the matrix into the mineral hydroxyapatite. So combination of the hard mineral and flexible collagen makes the bone harder than our soft bone, okay, which is the cartilage, without being brittle, which is not easily being broken down. And also important characteristic to support our whole body. So although the hardness of the bone depends on the inorganic mineral salt, but without the organic collagen fiber, it would be very easily broken. So for example, the metal rod in concrete. So meaning here, in other words to say, we need the mineral salt to make our bone hard, but we also need the collagen to prevent our bone from being easily broken. Okay, so our bone hard but not easily broken. So the structure of the bone, it's made up of many Haversian systems. So if we do a cross section on our bone, we can see many Haversian systems in the center here. Haversian system is also known as osteon. So the osteoblast, which is the bone cell, can be found inside the lacuna. Okay, so it says here, the matrix of the bone arranged in a concentric circle. So each of it, the concentric circle, we call it lamella. So the osteoblasts, which is the bone cell, they become less active when they mature and they're known as osteocyte. So the osteocyte can be found in the space in the lamella known as lacuna. So lacuna is the structure, which we can see it here. Okay, so lacuna can be found, the bone cell can be found inside the lacuna. Okay, just like the diagram just now. So for the lacuna here, they have the bone cell in the middle. So the bone cell, they can communicate with one another and with capillary by canaliculi. So canaliculi, they contain the long cytoplasmic extension of the osteocyte. So canaliculi connect the lacuna with one another. So it projects from lacuna to provide the nutrients to the bone cell, and the waste can be removed from them. Okay, so we can see the structure here. The bone cell has the osteon, which I mentioned just now. Okay, so for this osteon, they have many layers of the lamella. Then inside the lamella, you have the structure here, which is called lacuna. Inside the lacuna, you have the bone cell, and the lacuna is connected by the lines here, which is the canaliculi. Okay, so each Haversian system is made up of the concentric circle called lamella, and in the center of this Haversian system, it is known as Haversian canal, that contains artery, vein, lymph vessel, and also nerve fibers. Okay, in this diagram that you can see in the center of this Haversian system, they are made up of this. Okay, Haversian canal. So Haversian canals are linked by Volkmann canal, which form the interconnecting system for the blood circulations and the nerve. So the vertical line is called the Haversian canal, while the horizontal line, we call it Volkmann canal. So they interconnecting between one another. So where can we find this compact bone? Of course, in our skeleton. And the function of the bone is to give our body shape and provide framework for support, protect the internal organ for the movement of the body, reservoir for calcium and phosphorus, which is our mineral salt, and site for blood cell production in the bone marrow. Okay, so these are our bone.